After winning their first 4 games in Colonial League play, Notre Dame has dropped 3 of their last 4. Tonight, the Crusaders pay a visit to East Division rival Wilson. The Warriors have been hot over their last 3 games, winning by an average of 22 points. It's 2 of the best in the Colonial. Wilson, Notre Dame, on RCN 4. Next.
It's Colonial League basketball action. Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. I'm Bob Beatty, and tonight it's Wilson and Notre Dame in what should be one of the most hotly contested basketball games in the Lehigh Valley tonight. Notre Dame flip-flopping with Penn Argyl and Wilson in that Eastern Division of the Colonial League. Now in third place, Wilson in second, Penn Argyl in first. And to talk about tonight's combatants, I welcome, as usual, my partner, Chris Michael. Chris, these two teams just love the competition between each other, don't they?
And a great crowd on hand for this game, as Bob mentioned. Very important game, although it's still early in January. We're starting to get into the race for the postseason. A couple of weeks away, but still teams jockeying for a position. And we can watch the standings a little bit closer. As Bob said, Wilson has moved ahead of Notre Dame in the standings. And also keep in mind that Notre Dame has not played at home since December 16th. So these fans have been anxious to see this Notre Dame team. They've been playing much better of late, and it's a sold-out crowd here at Wilson. Should be in a very exciting ball game.
It should be. Let's take a look at Notre Dame, 5-3 in the league, and with Klotz and Lilly and Daly offering up some pretty good offensive numbers. Daly leading with 18 points. This basketball team can score, and Coach Boyle was telling me they're averaging 72 points over their last 5 games. Happy with the offense, not real happy with the defense.
Yeah, when you look at this team, especially at the beginning of the year, you see guys that we've been so familiar with, Reed Klotz, Jeff Daly, Dan Tavani, guys we've seen 3 and now 4 seasons. Defense, you're right, has been the problem with this team this year. They've been trying to work in, they have a boatload of experience with those players. You throw in Chad Lilly, but they've been trying to work in some of the other players. And a lot of times when you're trying to get combinations and rotation, getting a solid rotation down, the offense is what gets examined first. Defense, especially with high school kids, they're not looking at improving the defense or establishing the defense as much. Coach Boyle has been working with these troops, though, the past couple weeks, and as we said, they have been playing better defensively. They've also been spending more time in practice working on defense, and in fact, Pat Boyle said he's very anxious for this game to start because they've had so many good series of practices. He wants to see them and how they perform for real.
All right, Wilson 6-2, a real surprise this year, Chris. Scoring by committee, a lot of young people really getting their act together, and I think it surprised Coach Frankenfield as well.
Yeah, these guys have been playing very hard, getting outstanding play from the members of the backcourt, and also they're doing 2 very important things well. In most of their wins, they're making the open baskets, and they're not committing a lot of turnovers. That's going to be keys for tonight's ball game as well. On paper, Notre Dame can really push the tempo and score a lot of points. So big key for Wilson. Stay home defensively, not commit a lot of turnovers as they have been doing for much of this year, and try to limit Notre Dame and try to limit their three-pointers from getting in the groove.
Penn Argyl's got to be watching this game tonight. It's going to be a dandy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Colonial League basketball action at its very best. Wilson, Notre Dame, next.
Drive a sports car like no other. The all-new Mazda RX-8.
we are back, and we will now have the introduction of the starting lineups for both of these basketball teams. And once again, my partner here is Chris.
And before we start, a big hats off to Darryl Miller of Wilson stepping up. They had some technical difficulties, stepped out of his role as a starter and moved over, took the mic and sang the national anthem for the sold-out crowd here at Wilson's Gymnasium. As we said, sold out, no seats were available prior to game time, and now we're ready to go with the starting lineup. First for the visiting Notre Dame Crusaders. Number 3, Chad Lilly, 6'1" junior in the front court, averaging 14 points a game. Joined in the front court by Reed Klotz, 6'3" senior, also averaging 14. In the backcourt, Jeff Daly, 5'9" senior, averaging 18. Doug Weaver, the other guard, 5'8" junior, averaging 6 points a game. And in the center, Dan Tavani, 6'10" senior, averaging 2 points a game. The head coach in his 8th season is Pat Boyle, 129 wins and 71 defeats. Currently in 3rd place in the Colonial League East Division. Now for Wilson, starting in the front court, number 40, Andrew Lutz, 6'1" senior. The other front court member will be Chuck Stokes, 5'9" senior. Also in the front court, number 12, Chris Eckhart, 6' senior. Darryl Miller, 5'9" senior, will be starting at guard and having to fill in an emergency duty. Matt Rush will start, a 6'2" sophomore. He will start in place of Ron Paccioli, a 6'2" junior who injured his ankle during warm-ups. So, and Bob Frankenfield in his 23rd season, 316 wins, 261 defeats. So again, it's Eckhart, Rush, Stokes, Miller, and Andrew Lutz, the 6'1" senior, will be starting for Wilson. Paccioli not able to go.
And on your left is John Marvin. On your right, Dave Bondel. These are the officials, or those are the officials. And we are ready to kick off our 2004, part of our 2003/4 basketball season, if that makes any sense to you. We're delighted to be here as we're beginning another year with John Gallahan, our executive director, and our B crew finishing up a great football season into basketball for the month of December. And now it really gets kind of wild and crazy from here on in, and it gets very competitive. We're underway. Notre Dame in white.
FYI, Paccioli injured his ankle during the warm-ups. He is in the trainer's room right now. They are examining him. He might be able to come back.
Wilson in the white uniforms, Notre Dame in blue. Dan Tavani will give you the numbers as we go around maybe once or twice, and then by that time you'll have a pretty good handle on who is whom. Here's a shot for 3. Bang! Reed Klotz adding on to his 14-point average with a 3.
Reed Klotz making his 13th three-pointer of the year. Not a lot of selfish play out there for the Crusaders. All 5 starters averaging close to 2.5 assists per game and up.
Chuck Stokes is number 21. 12 is Chris Eckhart. Again, this is a basketball team that was not expected to achieve the kind of numbers they have this year. Here's a drive toward the bucket. A layup is up and in by Chuck Stokes, and it's 3-2 in favor of Notre Dame.
Good first quick step by Chuck Stokes going to the hoop again. As I said in the open, outstanding guard play this year pacing Wilson.
Just like that, bang, Jeff Daly nails a 3. Notre Dame out in front, 6-2.
Daly leads the team now, 48 three-point shots. One of the keys for Wilson, I mentioned, try to limit their perimeter shots. The goal, according to Bob Frankenfield, is to have no more than 4 three-pointers made by Notre Dame. They already have one in the can.
Eckhart is 12. He gets it into Matt Rush, who's a last-minute substitution. Miller down the lane, shot up, not good, and a whistle underneath and a personal foul.
A little bit more about Matt Rush. He had been getting some more time with Dave Lenahan out with an injured knee, and the other night had a really good night coming off the bench. Scored 11 points, I believe it was against Bangor, so he's been playing a little bit, getting some sporadic playing time, and he's been playing a little bit better of late as well, especially in the points per game category.
Chad Lilly picks up his first personal foul of the evening for Notre Dame. Notre Dame on top by 4. Trailing Wilson now. Boy, what a tight race in that Eastern Division. Here's a nice pass inside, and a shot trying to go out for the bucket is Matt Rush. He gets the ball slapped away.
Good ball movement at that time by Wilson, working the ball around the perimeter. Rush, if he got that perfect pass and had an easy putback, ball was maybe a little bit low, couldn't handle it, fumbled it a little bit, and Wilson lucky to get the ball back.
Miller at the left elbow pops it up, and it's a little bit short. Wilson 1 for 4 early on. Here comes Notre Dame. This team can score, as I mentioned to Chris in the pregame, 72 points over the last 5 games they've averaged. So they can shoot the bucket. Here comes another 3. Shot, bang, just like that. Doug Weaver nails a 3 for Notre Dame.
And Weaver can shoot the 3, not one of their main three-point shooters, is 4th on the team in 3 balls.
Coming right back is Wilson, and the bucket by Andrew Lutz is good.
So Wilson cannot get rattled. As we said, Notre Dame can put up a lot of points. Wilson just has to try to stick to its game plan.
9-4 if you just joined us early on here tonight at Wilson. Big game. Shot underneath the bucket first, missed by Notre Dame. Doug Weaver.
Yeah, Weaver's a guy we haven't seen a whole lot of. We mentioned the other guys' names, but so far some excellent ball movement.
Shot from way outside is up and not good by Andrew Lutz. The ball comes free, and it is picked up in the corner by Wilson. Again, another 3. Shot, air ball, this time by Matt Rush. Notre Dame quickly in forward court. Baseline jump shot is up and not good by Jeff Daly. He's number 20. Gets it outside. 3 is Chad Lilly. Going toward the bucket, pulling up for a short jumper is Klotz. No good. And Wilson now for the first time slows it down a wee bit. Playground basketball just probably great for short spurts, but on the long run it's very tough to continue that pace. There's a bad pass across court, Chris, and here comes Notre Dame. No, nice pass over in the corner by Daly. Cavani. Dan from outside for 3. Shoots, not good. Cavani picks up the basketball, hands it back outside to Klotz. To Lilly, back to Klotz. Shoots, not good. And suddenly Notre Dame now is cooled off.
One of the reasons that Notre Dame has such effective perimeter shooting, they have some good balance. We've seen both times down the other way shooting the 3 balls. They try to go inside to open things up a little bit. Although Lilly had a little bit of room to get rid of that, still was well off the 3-point line.
And they missed the shot. And now here comes the Crusaders again, wasting no time. Whoop. Going toward the bucket. Lilly gets stripped of the ball, picked up by Miller. Quickly in the forward court. Down the lane, dumps it off to nobody, and Notre Dame comes up with the basketball. So again, this pace is starting to cause some turnovers. Outside for 3. Shot, bang. And Doug Weaver is HOT.
Good job by Jeff Daly. We've seen him for so many years just set up and launch that 3-point shooter. By far one of the top perimeter shooters in the Colonial League, but that time does a nice job drawing the defense in by driving in and then kicking that ball out for a wide open Weaver.
Eckhart shoots for 3, not good. Skying high is Klotz. Boy, Notre Dame is just running and running and running, and here comes a turnover, and Bob Frankenfield now wants a 30-second timeout to talk about it. 2:42 remaining in quarter number 1. Notre Dame 12, Wilson 4.
There comes a time in an athlete's career when he knows he's at his best. It's that moment when victory is at hand, and he feels invincible. The level of the game is irrelevant. What matters most is the feeling, and it usually comes inside a Russell Athletic jersey. Bethlehem Sporting Goods and Russell Athletic are a part of nearly every triumphant moment throughout the Lehigh Valley. Choose Russell Athletic and Bethlehem Sporting Goods. A winning tradition starts with us.
He doesn't report to a management committee. He doesn't report to a marketing department. He reports to Mary Johnson's arthritis, to Sally Wickstrom's upset stomach, and to Greg Porter's poison oak. He's your family prescription center pharmacist. He lives and works right here in town, so that means he reports to you. Call Family Prescription Center today at 866-0709.
Taking the time to care, Family Prescription Center.
That's Pat Boyle in his 8th year. 130 and 72, as Chris pointed out in the pregame. And Pat, very happy. He was on our WHOL radio sports program about 2 weeks ago, and he said he loves Notre Dame. He has no intention of going anywhere else, certainly not for the near future and possibly not for the long term. Here we come with Darrell Miller, handing it to Chuck Stokes.
Got a nice Christmas present from his wife. Gave her a house. A little bit closer to the Lehigh Valley area, too.
That's your average Christmas present, wouldn't you think? Good to have him back.
I'm still 0 for.
He was living in the Lansdale area. Now, of course, the commute a lot easier for him to handle. Miller going toward the bucket, pump, shoots up, not good, and looks like Dan Tavani will pick up his first.
Tavani drawn in a little bit by the pump fake. Tried to stay back as much as he could. Good job working inside by Darrell Miller with that pump fake and going up strong once he had the contact. Here he leaves his feet, and once you go up in the air, good job by Miller to go right at him.
Miller looks up, fires away, and misses.
A Wilson statistician has been under the weather for the past few days, so unfortunately we don't have any stats on the Warriors, but I did specifically ask about free throws and was told they're a good free throw shooting team.
And they missed 2.
I think I'm going to jinx every team in the Lehigh Valley this year.
I knew that was going to happen when you said that. Here's a pass in the backcourt. Picked up nicely by Miller. Hands it off down the lane. A layup is up and in by Chuck Stokes. Great play by Darrell Miller.
I believe that's the second Notre Dame turnover to lead to points at the other end.
Tavani. Dan and his dad was on RCN a couple weeks ago. Shot for 3. Bang. And Jeff Daly picks up his second, and all Notre Dame scoring in the first quarter has come with the 3.
Well, we saw him do such a great job a moment ago driving, picking up the double teams as he went in, and then kicked it out for Weaver for a wide open 3. That time with a man in his face, launched it and drained it.
Underneath, the shot is up and in. Nice move, a little head fake by Chuck Stokes.
Nice job by Wilson, also moving the ball around, looking to the weak side, trying to get Notre Dame in that transition defense. He's got a pretty good look at the hoop.
15-8. Here is a jump shot, up and not good by Chad Lilly. Notre Dame can't make the 3-footers, but they can make the 20-footers. Figure it out. 15-8 with about 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. Inside, picked off by Chad Lilly. Coast to coast, going down the lane, dumps it off in the corner, and it is picked up by Miller. That's the kind of turnover they don't want. They could put this team away early if they had watched the turnovers, but they have not done so, and Wilson stays in this basketball game trailing by 7.
Boy, a quick defensive play. It might have been Tavani down low, because Wilson had a player wide open in the low post. And someone just at the last minute reached out, poked the ball away, so Wilson will get it underneath their own basket.
Whiteout is going to replace Daly, and in is Jonathan Kindred also in the basketball game. 25 seconds to go in quarter number 1. First game of the new year for us. Of course, RCN's been very busy. There is a jump ball, alternate possession, and Wilson will keep it. Another substitution coming in. Number 55 for Notre Dame, and that is Mike Lenahan. Replacing Reed Klotz. Underneath the bucket, Eckhart looking for somebody. Gets it out to Stokes. I like Chuck right from the key. Shoots, got it. 4th field goal, and Chuck Stokes is red hot.
I like that substitution there by Pat Boyle. Closing minutes of the quarter, give your guards a little bit of a rest to save their legs.
Here's a call inside. This one's going to go against Darrell Miller. He'll pick up number 1. 4.9 seconds to go in the quarter. And should Notre Dame defeat Wilson tonight, they will be tied with Wilson for 2nd place in the East Division, right behind Penn Arjun. From way outside, a 3 shot. Ooh, almost went in by Daly, and that is no good. The return shot by Eckhart, not good on that side, and that'll end quarter number 1. With the score, Notre Dame 15, Wilson 10. Chris and I will be back in a moment.
basketball fans. If you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader. Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, featuring GE washers and dryers, GE dishwashers, GE microwaves, GE ranges, GE refrigerators. Plus, Kleckner's features free delivery, backed by their own factory-trained service department. Hurry in for best selection. Make us your last stop and see the savings on new GE appliances at Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street, Emmaus.
Hey, Lehigh Valley, Lanta wants you to express yourself. The new Silver Line Express connects the downtowns of Easton and Allentown with only 3 stops at popular shopping malls. Whether for work, shopping, or leisure activities, the new Silver Line Express will get you across the valley quickly.
Silver Line Express is great. I'll take it to my job in Allentown.
We'll take the Silver Line Express to the Allentown Art Museum.
Call Lanta for a map and schedule and fair information.
And those are the Crusader cheerleaders. Again, spending a lot of time during the course of the year, whether it's the football season or basketball. Hats off to them as well, and they get a good hand from the packed house here tonight. There's Frank Tabani. He and his son Dan were on the program on RCN. I think the repeat show is going to be on this month again. What a great family, Chris. They really... Frank is kind of knows what he wants, and his wife and he have raised a couple of great kids. And I don't know if Dan has made his mind up, though. He was looking at a couple of schools, Wofford and Furman amongst them. Didn't get a chance to see him before the game, but I'm sure that shortly he will make an announcement. Notre Dame in the front court now with the basketball. Going toward the bucket. Oh, nice move by Reed Klotz, but he can't get it to drop. Eckhart. Oh, look at this shot. That's an NBA kind of shot. And if it would have went in, this place would have erupted.
Tried to split the defense that time. Mike Lanahan came over. Good defense at first. Cut down, knew exactly where he was going to the hoop, and steps right in front, but then he reaches in with the arm. And Eckhart just tries to put up an attempted shot and go to the free throw line.
Shot by Eckhart is good. Yes. That's different. Different hairstyles today in professional sports, whether they're braided or what have you. You see it all. Young America, folks. 15-12. In forward court. Nice pass underneath, but Lenihan couldn't handle it. Goes right out of bounds.
As well as both teams have played so far in the first 8+ minutes. Also seen some wide open guys and wide open opportunities not get converted.
Miller getting a little bit of pressure from Whiteout in the backcourt. Eckhart, Stokes winding up for 3. Shoots! Bang!
Great job by Stokes that time. Was all alone on the right wing. Was calling for it, had the footwork all set. All he needed was the ball.
Down the lane. Here's a layup. Not good by Lilly. And Wilson gets the basketball back and a chance to move ahead. We're tied at 15. Steele at midcourt. Notre Dame quickly. Whiteout. Pulls up, starts it over again. Inside. To Klotz. To Lilly. All the way over to Whiteout, to Lenihan. In the lane, there was a bump. And I think that's a good call by Dave Bondel. And this one will go against number 30. Actually, I thought the foul was against someone else, but nevertheless, that's number 2 against Darrell Miller. Pass inside. Nice feed. Bucket by Klotz.
Good job with those long arms. Timing play. Leaped up, had a lot of hang time, too. Got up there, reach out with those long arms and put it back up and in.
Toward the bucket. Oh, that's got to be a walk. That's what it is. It's number 23, David Lenihan, freshman, 6'1". Both squads carrying 5 seniors on their teams this year. Outside, Whiteout for 3. Shoots, not good. Really surprised, Chris, that this overall 10-3 record by Wilson after last year. They lost so many good people. Now Frankenfield just keeps reloading here. They lost the ball. Klotz picks it up in midcourt, down the right side, dumps it underneath, and it goes out of bounds, but Notre Dame keeps it.
Interesting battle going on with some of the post players, especially when Wilson comes down to their offensive end. A lot of pushing and shoving back and forth away from the ball. Good to see a physical game, too. We've talked a lot about the guards and the outstanding play of the guards so far this season, too. We'll see if those front court players become a factor late in this game.
White out, top of the circle. Hands it over. Shot by Lilly is not good. Boy, I'll tell you, they're not gun shy to shoot from 18, 19, 20 feet away with no hesitation. Well, they've nailed 5 of them tonight, so why not?
Well, this is our first game seeing Notre Dame. I mentioned that Pat Wells told us they were having some defensive problems, but that hard work in practice this last week certainly paying off today. Not a whole lot of easy baskets. That time, Matt Rush, good pass, cutting down the lane, but could not get it shot off. They commit the foul, and also nice play, making sure they did not get a decent shot off. A lot of times when you try to slap and commit the foul as a player's going by you, you will not make sure that they do not get that shot off, and it turns into a three-point play.
Matt Rush gets his first foul shot, is good. And that other foul, the last foul, was on Lenahan. Notre Dame by 1, and Matt Rush with a chance to tie it. Does. Well, it's about what we expected, Chris, when we came here tonight. Notre Dame started off on like a house on fire, and then it was cooled off a little bit.
Now if the three-point shots aren't there, they're going to have to work a little bit more for shots closer to the basket.
Daly misses the shot. Here comes Wilson, and a whistle in the front court. Doug Weaver is going to pick up his first.
Weaver just a little bit of a reach-in, trying to stay aggressive at the defensive end. You're going to see players already by him. Actually has 2 hands on him. Reached out with the left hand, got him on the hip, and then reached for the ball and got an arm.
Eckhart will get the ball in at side court. Full house here tonight, but that's not unexpected when these two teams get together. Stokes shoots up, not good. One of the few times he's missed tonight.
A little bit of an off-balance shot. Got a good view of him going up, kind of off-balance.
Shot is up by Daly, not good. From the key, a follow-up is up and not good by Doug Weaver.
Notre Dame was getting a lot of rebounds early, especially at the offensive end. Even when they weren't hitting those three-pointers, they were getting the putbacks, or at least a second opportunity. Wilson has evened the war in the rebounding category.
Approaching the 4-minute mark remaining in the first half, and we have a tie game.
There's that matchup. Some of the bigger guys playing very physical tonight.
Notre Dame's going to have to start nailing some more threes and some additional points if they're ever going to get near 72 tonight at the current rate. Going toward the bucket. Eckert shoots up and good.
Once again, good hang time from Eckert, hanging in the air. Looked like he was a little bit off balance, but hung up there long enough to square himself and get a good look.
Shot by Chad Lilly falls a little bit short. And Wilson gets the basketball. Leading by 2. We're going to test your memory, my friend, and with a Kraus Dodge Sports Trivia question.
Hey, I got a one-game streak going into this.
Going to take you back about 40 years. And he's rolling his eyes. In the corner, Lutz. And a whistle. And a push inside, trying to break through the pick. And this one will go against Dan Tavani. If there's anybody that can knock somebody on their can, it's Dan.
Screen set up there by Eckhart.
Oh, look at that. Puts that shoulder down and just right over you, boy. Eckhart steps to the line. He's 2 for 2. And unlike Chris, I do not jinx him. He is now 3 for 3.
Hey, you can handle the stats the rest of the year.
20-17, and now it's 21-17. And suddenly that 7-point Notre Dame lead has evaporated, and Wilson leads by 4.
And look at 2 things. The rebounding, Notre Dame not getting as many second chance opportunities. Wilson shooting a little close to the basket, and also Notre Dame not as hot from the perimeter.
Weaver and Tavani exchanging passes. This is Chad Lilly. And the shot by Daly. Oh, off balance. Nice.
They're still not getting good looks at the baskets. They're just making some unbelievable shots. That time Andrew Lutz had a hand in the face of the shooter.
Weaver, Eckhart in forward court. Number 40 is Andrew Lutz. And a timeout by Bob Frankenfield. Chris, 316 wins over 23 years, huh? Yeah, we are now going to test everybody's memory.
Why don't you do the trivia question?
Okay. What year did Notre Dame High School begin basketball? Well, I did say it was a long time ago.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I might have this one. About 1958.
How did you know that?
Was I right?
You leaned over my shoulder.
No, I didn't. You keep that. You come in here, it's like under a padlock.
Okay, and we're going to give you more. 57-58 season. They defeated the Faculty 72-34. Then they captured their first official win over Pius X of Pottstown 49-39. They were 12-10 that year under Jim Rich.
Are you kidding me? I don't think I got 2 in a row in the entire football season. I think I got 2 right. No, I got 3 right in the football season.
We will not be working on Friday night. We don't have a game. RCN will be busy, of course, but our next game we will bring the trivia question a little bit further up to date for the benefit of our many viewers. And Chris Michael toward the bucket. Here comes a little 5-foot shot up and not good by Dave Lenahan. Notre Dame now in forward court, and we're approaching the 2-minute mark in the first half, and Lilly is ready to pull the trigger and then checked off. Klotz into the blue paint, back to Tavani, around the horn again.
A good decision there. They've made some unbelievable shots tonight, but once again, shooter inside had a hand in his face, kick it out, and reset the offense.
Klotz to Lilly, inside to Daly, and he dumps it back outside.
Good job. Double team came over.
For 3, Lilly shoots, not good.
Wilson's really playing strong defensively tonight.
Both teams with 7 field goals. Pump shot up by Stokes, not good. And Notre Dame's in forward court now. And they lose the basketball. Pat Boyle obviously not happy with this turnaround here in the first half. They're playing very good defense, is much better than they have been, but they've had too many turnovers. And here they come up with the basketball again. Outside. Pass underneath. Daly pumps, fake, shoots, got it.
Good spin move that time, got him a little bit of an open look. Defender went high into the air. Instead of going strong up and collecting the foul, just kind of spun around.
Here's a steal, and the layup is up and in by Chad Lilly, picking up his first field goal.
Well, goal number 2 for Wilson today was to limit the amount of turnovers. And in this quarter, I don't think they're going to be completely happy with the way they've held possession of the basketball.
Notre Dame by 2 points with 23 seconds to go. Stokes pulls up, shoots up, not good. Notre Dame basketball. "15 seconds to go in the first half. Coming in for Wilson now is Kevin Huff. He's a senior, 6'1". And going out is Andrew Lutz.
And Tavani also took a seat on the bench for the final 15 seconds, get a little more of a breather before halftime.
Weaver to Lilly. Jeff Daly's outside. Leading scorer for Notre Dame this year at 18 points a game. Goes to the baseline, gets it outside. 1 second to go. Klotz shoots up, not good. And that will end the first half of basketball here at Wilson. With the score, Notre Dame 23, Wilson 21. We'll be back with our halftime show in a moment.
tacos, an Allentown tradition.
Remember when life was much simpler? It was easy to know who could be trusted to carpet your home.
Today, the choices are overwhelming. Make it simple. Make it Mohawk Color Center.
Celebrating 125 years of Mohawk commitment to floor covering quality, comfort, and style.
Mohawk Color Center, where the value of family and an appreciation for the simple beauty of home are woven into everything we do.
Mohawk Color Center. Simply the right way to go. Visit R&J Carpet Connection, 922 North 3rd Street in Whitehall.
And we are back at Wilson High School at halftime, 23-21. Notre Dame leads Wilson, and time to take a look at our stats. And has the game gone pretty much the way you expected, sir?
A lot of points, but unfortunately not the best shooting performances from these teams. We'll take a look at the individuals first. Just two players, one on each side in double figures. That's not a surprise. Jeff Daly airing out some free balls. Doug Weaver hitting a pair of threes, leading the way for the Crusaders. For Wilson, Stokes leading the way, all scorers actually with 11 points. Chris Eckhart with some acrobatic moves, trying to shake some defenders loose. He is second on the team with 6 points. But when you look at the overall scoring percentages from field goals, both teams not where you want to be at the midway mark.
Pretty even, I would say, on the scoring. Now, this is the overall team numbers.
And you see a 34 and 35% respectively. Like to be a little closer. Now, Notre Dame likes to shoot those three balls, but still, when they started to go cold from the perimeter, had to try to create some more shots. Occasionally, they tried to dip in, free some guys up, but then the shots just weren't falling at all. A lot of those 5 3-pointers for Notre Dame came early in this ball game. Wilson doing a good job of working inside. Even when they're not making the interior shots, they are going to the free throw line, and they are converting, which is one of their keys to make those makeable shots. Not a whole lot of turnovers. Wilson had a kind of a flurry in the second quarter that got up to the 8 mark, but the rebounding after Notre Dame had an early lead in that category has balanced out as Wilson has a 1 rebound advantage in that statistical category.
If you were Coach Frankenfield or Coach Boyle, second half plans would include what, do you think?
I think Notre Dame has to kind of reestablish that shooting game and get a little stronger, more confident shooting. It won't take much, as we said in the open. These guys have been around a lot. Maybe just creating some back screens, getting some shots in close to the basket. They'll get their confidence back and they'll shoot much better from on the arc. And with those guys, sometimes it's just a habit of getting in a groove. For Wilson, I'd say kind of continue what they're doing. They're for the most part, they're keeping good control of the basketball. We mentioned had a little bit of a slump in terms of possession there in the second quarter, but they've been playing very solid defense. Very impressed by the way the Warriors have been playing at the defensive end, and they've been unfortunately, they haven't been able to limit Notre Dame from their three-point shooting, but they also have to take advantage of their shots when they get opportunities in close to the basket.
Okay, let's take a look at the highlights here in the first 16 minutes.
Outside game was on fire from outside. Notre Dame had several different three-pointers and different three-point shooters. Daly shot that last one. This one on the way and good from Doug Weaver. And one more from downtown. How about another one from downtown? There we go. All 5 for you on the highlight reel. And now at the other end, Wilson going inside, and as I said, Chuck Stokes doing a nice job creating his own shots. Also got a three-point ball from outside, as you see it there. And a little hang time from Chris Eckhart, getting the friendly twine. And I got 2 trivia questions right this year. How about that?
2 out of...
And you only gave me a little bit of a hint.
Out of 42, second half will be better, I'm sure. We're halftime at Wilson. Notre Dame 23, Wilson 21. We'll be right back.
sports car like no other. The all-new Mazda RX-8.
There's the coach, Pat Boyle. 130 and 72, trying for 131 tonight, and we're ready for second half action. We're going to crank it up, and Wilson gets the basketball at half court, and we're underway.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Kleckner & Sons Appliance. Glad to have Kleckner & Sons with us to start off 2004.
You betcha. Here is Miller, or Weaver rather. Shot up, bang! Just like that, Matt Rush gets his first field goal of the evening, and it's a big one, a 3.
And remember, Rush has been playing better, had 11 the other night, but he starts in place of Ron Pacioli, who injured himself in the pregame warm-ups. And we have not seen Ron at all tonight.
Lilly inside to Klotz, a shot up and not good. Rebound Wilson. The Warriors now lead by 1. Darryl Miller, number 30.
Wilson did hold a 21-14 lead in closing minutes of the second quarter before Notre Dame took the 2-point edge at the half.
In the key, shot by Eckert is up and not good. Rebound, Chad Lilly. For some reason or other, he looks a lot bigger than 6'1" in forward court. Way outside, the shot is up and not good by Weaver. Here's a follow-up inside, not good. So Notre Dame comes up empty on their next set down the court. 0 for 2. This is Miller, Eckhart, around the horn. Stokes shoots up, not good. And he was red hot in that first half with 5 field goals. Low scoring game. It will not get into the 70s for Notre Dame tonight. That you can be sure. Klotz, nice move toward the bucket. Stutter step, shoots up, not good. And Miller again on the rebound.
And combination of things, too. You look at that free field goal shooting at halftime, not where you want to be, but also credit both teams for playing some outstanding defense tonight.
Very hotly contested. Boy, these two teams know each other very, very well. Not very far from one another. Stokes outside. Here's a shot for 3 by Matt Rush, is not good. And they get together in the football field, baseball, whatever it is. And there's competition galore. This is Tavani. Going to make some football coach pretty happy. Nice feet underneath. A layup is up and in by Doug Weaver.
There were a few of those opportunities in the first half. Teams could not take advantage of. Weaver just sneaks behind the defense. No one picks him up for the Warriors. Good job by Notre Dame to find it to him and for Weaver to finish.
Double team in the backcourt. Here comes a short 10-foot jumper. Is not good toward the bucket. Miller's follow-up is up and not good. So Lenahan shoots. Miller taps it up, and they're 0 for 2. 25-24, Notre Dame toward the bucket. Layup is up and good.
Good first step that time by Chad Lilly, taking it to the rack. A couple times we've seen him just come down, set up, and pass the ball off. That time, good first step going inside.
And here's a whistle at side court, and Reed Klotz will pick up his second personal foul. Number 23, back on the air Saturday. Dave Lenahan on WHOL. 1600 from 10 to 11 a.m. Some surprises for the upcoming year in the first quarter. So give us a listen. We'll tell you who's going to be our guest and a little bit more about the show as the ball goes out of bounds. And Notre Dame will get the basketball back.
Good to see a spirited crowd, and a crowd this packed. Not only are they packed for the varsity game, this was pretty well packed, I'd say, by the start of the third quarter of the JV game. And there's been a lot of people that have not sat down since the start of this game.
Lilly underneath her is a layup up and not good by Doug Weaver, but he draws a personal foul. This one will be against Eckhart, and it'll be his first.
Well, Notre Dame stealing a little bit of a page from Wilson, going a lot more inside. Remember, no free throws for Notre Dame in the first half, so they're picking their spots a little bit more, trying to go inside. And, when you can shoot as well as a lot of these guys can from the free throw line, not a bad thing to have to go to the free throw line too many times for the Crusaders.
Later on at RCN in January and early February, we're going to have a 1-hour special, 2 half-hour shows on this Bethlehem Steel Corporation as a follow-up to that 100-page booklet in the Morning Call a couple of weeks ago. And the gentlemen, all of them, that put that together, and a remarkable story about the demise of a great steel company. They'll be on the show. I think you'll find it interesting. Here we go in forward court. Eckhart.
Notice I did not give the numbers on Weaver, and he was 2 of 2 from the line.
Wow, he slid on almost to the press table and almost hit his mouth as he just turned his head away at the last second.
We've seen a lot of guys diving for balls tonight. Like I think Dan Tavani crashed into our table in the first half.
But then the table takes the worst of the two there. Cross court. Notre Dame now finds himself up by 5. Pass inside. Klotz's shot is not good. Follow-up is not good. And he will draw a personal foul.
Now, once again, Notre Dame goes inside. They did not get the basket, but they will earn some trips from the free throw line. This time it's Reed Klotz going to work inside. First chance doesn't go, but when he goes back with the putback, gets some contact and goes to the free throw line.
Good close-up personal by Klotz, and he is a 75% foul shooter.
Thank you.
Thank you. And he's 0 for 1 now, and one more.
Now, if I tell you what the number is and he still misses, do I still get blamed?
No, that will cut you some slack there. Second shot is good.
And from going back to this inside game for Notre Dame, they've worked now a 6-point lead, which is as much as they had since early in the ball game.
Our schedule just came out. Nice pass underneath. Here comes a layup. It's up and in. That one just rolled in for Matt Rush. 30-26, Notre Dame by 4. Tavani into the lane, down, shoots, got it. That's his first field goal. He averages 2 points a game. He's got him. Miller, coast to coast, down the lane, a layup up and in. Darrell Miller challenging the defense, and he goes in and scores a bucket. 32-28, Notre Dame remains ahead by 4.
Not too many times tonight the Crusaders did not get back in transition defensively. That time a lot of backs not facing the basketball, and a lot of people turned the wrong way.
Klotz at the elbow, back to Tavani. Dan was going to pull the trigger, decided against it, and gets it back outside. Nice crossover move by Klotz, and he gets it out to Daly. Baseline. Klotz moves toward the bucket, gets stuffed, and it goes out of bounds, almost out of bounds. Wilson gets it. The Warriors now within 4 points and 2.5 to go in the third quarter. Good basketball game thus far. A lot of lead changes here. Toward the bucket. Shot not good by Andrew Lutz, and a personal foul against Notre Dame. And that one will go against Tavani, and that will be his third. Lutz to step to the line to shoot 2. Got it.
Lutz, one of the reasons why Wilson got off to that fast start to start off the year. Maybe took some teams by surprise in the first couple weeks, but after teams could see what Wilson had and the way they were playing this year, not too many surprises after that. People are geared up for Wilson, as they were last year when they had all their expectations put on them from the outset.
Gary just released our schedule for Chris and I for January. A lot of great games. Penn Argyle, Wilson, Notre Dame, and others. For 3, Klotz, not good. Out of bounds. Miller went up and got the basketball all by himself, and it went off his knee and out of bounds. There's a young man looking to play basketball, I'm sure, down the road.
Yeah, nice job collecting that floorboard. Now he's sitting on the Wilson side, so I guess we'll have to credit Wilson with one more rebound now.
There's Mr. Frankenfield. And nice pass underneath, way up by Klotz. He misses it, and Wilson gets the ball. Oh, that was a huge miss. 1:40 to go. Third quarter. Eckhart over in the corner. Shot is up and no good by Matt Rush. Notre Dame quickly in forward court. Daly winds up for three. Shoots! Bang!
Wow. Chris Eckhart came flying, waving his arms in the air. That's what you want to do at the defensive end. If you can't get there, try to distract him as much as possible, and he somehow found a way to measure it perfectly.
35-29. Big bucket by Daly. Pass inside. Well, that looked like a walk, but he got away with it if it was, and that is Matt Rush picking up his third field goal. Again, Notre Dame retains that 4-point lead. Every time they move it to 6 and 7, Wilson comes back. Lilly. Klotz with 45 seconds to go, third quarter. Don't you dare change that dial. And if you're going to get a sandwich, do it at the break and then come on back and join us for the final quarter. This will be a great finish, I am sure. Weaver looks up at the clock and says, nah, I think I'll just take it back to midcourt and wait for the last shot.
Bob Frankenfield wants to make sure that they don't set up a play to get their three-point bombers an open look.
Timeout Notre Dame. 16 seconds to go.
And normally teams, when they're playing a zone, they're going to relax a little bit. And when they play for the final shot, you try to set some screens and get some guys open. But if anything, Wilson defensively was coming out to try to meet their three-point players. And so Notre Dame calls a timeout, maybe get a little more complex with their play calling here and still try to get somebody an open look.
Saw Pat Boyle, talked to Pat Boyle's dad, Bob, before the ball game. Boy, he looks great. Wow. Really shaping up. His dad, Pat, said he's working out. Strapping young man. Strapping older man. 35-31. And now Notre Dame will go for the last shot of quarter number 3. As I'm sure our guys in the first game, Gary Laubach and Dick Tracer at home. Happy New Year, guys. Here's a shot from Daly. Shoots! Bang! Whoa! Jeff Daly nailing his 4th three, and that will end quarter number 3. Notre Dame on a high and leading by 7. We'll be back in a moment.
He doesn't report to a management committee. He doesn't report to a marketing department. He reports to Mary Johnson's arthritis, to Sally Wickstrom's upset stomach, and to Greg Porter's poison oak. He's your family prescription center pharmacist. He lives and works right here in town, so that means he reports to you. Call Family Prescription Center today at 866-0709.
Taking the time to care. Family Prescription Center.
What do you look for in a dealership? Why not start with experience in virtually every kind of vehicle? Add in a convenient location, the highest customer loyalty, continued growth, and a long history of being the best. These are the qualities Hummer look for when choosing a representative in northeastern Pennsylvania. And they're the features you'll only find at Scott Chrysler, Saab, Chevrolet, Scott Lott, and now Scott Hummer. All on the Lehigh Street Auto Mile in Allentown.
With Chris Michael, there is the, I'm Bob Beatty. There's a scoreboard in the background. 8 minutes to go, and 38-31 is our score.
And maybe I overthought that timeout, too. It looked like a simple play, just kind of playing catch with the guards in the backcourt. Waited till time wound down. And yet another three-pointer. Again, one of the things Wilson was trying to do today was try to stay on these perimeter shooters, and they have a bunch of them, so that's easier said than to do. They have Daly with close to 53 pointers this year, and a host of other players either at double digits or close to double digits in three-pointers made this year. So the Crusaders have lit it up from outside.
Chad Lilly inbounds the ball, and we're in quarter number 4. Notre Dame with the basketball. Klotz shoots, not good, but a foul.
Like that decision there, too, by Notre Dame. They're shooting very well from beyond the perimeter, but they're still getting that inside presence, still trying to go inside to keep Wilson's defense balanced.
Lenahan will pick up his first personal foul, and Reed Klotz, I'm really impressed with this young man, Chris. He's really done an outstanding job. He handles the ball well. He misses his foul shot. He's now 1 for 3.
This will be the final game on this gym for Klotz, Daly, and Tavani. They've played a bunch of games here.
Second one is not good. Rebound, follow-up, not good. Ball comes free, and Wilson has the basketball. Got their work cut out for them now. They trail by 7.
You remember, they were down by, I believe it was 6 early in this ball game and battled back.
Stokes shoots, not good. Notre Dame now brings the basketball in forward court. Let's see if they continue their up-tempo offensive set or whether they're going to slow it down just a wee bit. Nice pass inside. Daly dumps it out. Boy, they really always looking for somebody. Always spotting that open man.
Once again, they're reading Wilson's playing out on the guard, so they try to go backdoor inside.
Klotz's shot is not good. And the fans respond by saying air ball, air ball. Eckhart. Chuck Stokes, like this young man too. Miller going toward the bucket, pulls up and is hammered from behind. And this one is going to go against Notre Dame's Matt Gordon, number 50.
Now, Matt Gordon's listed as 5'10".
Yeah, sophomore 5'11".
Looks a little taller to me. Because he came out and he was guarding the guard. He was guarding Daryl Miller and Chris Eckhart. Eckhart's 6 foot, and it looked like Gordon had a decided advantage.
5'11", kneeling down maybe. Here is a lost ball, and Notre Dame will get it back. The Crusaders now trying to tie Wilson for that second place slot behind Penn Argyle. And then, of course, some great games in January. The season ends early this year. Here's a jump shot from the corner, up and not good by Gordon. I believe it's Friday, February the 6th, or the 5th. 6th, I guess it is, yes.
It's always nice to turn the page to January, and you can start to concentrate on the standings a little bit more in December. You're not so worried about where other teams are too much. But now you can start looking at matchups and seeing who's how many games behind and ahead.
Ball goes out of bounds. Wilson's going to retain it. Parkland leading, of course, over in that Lehigh Valley Conference in the 1 division. They have red, white, and blue. Whitehall, as expected, in front. Pass inside. Ball comes free and picked up by Notre Dame. Here's going toward the bucket. The shot is up and not good. Slapped away. And I believe that Chad Lilly, with that expression, says, hey, where's the foul?
Hey, kudos to our cameraman, Chris Popick. That time got hit. Instead of bailing away or making sure he was okay, what does he do? He frames his shot.
Well, I don't know how, what a good idea that is. Look at that. Oh. 6:08 remaining in the game, and Notre Dame leads by 7, and we'll be right back.
When you need a prescription filled, who do you turn to? Walters Pharmacy. Walters Pharmacy compounds prescriptions and takes filling prescriptions as their #1 priority. At Walters, you'll save time. Trust Walters Pharmacy for convenience with free fast delivery in the city of Allentown. You can visit walterspharmacy.net and email the pharmacist with questions. Since 1937, Walters Pharmacy, making life easier through genuine care.
We are back. Those are the Crusader cheerleaders with their signs.
Been seeing a lot of D so far tonight. Notre Dame picking up the pace, but so far no scoring. Close to 2 minutes into this 4th quarter. We're talking about support for Notre Dame. We mentioned they've been on the road since December 16th, so this is the closest that Notre Dame has gotten to a home game. But they came out with their troops wearing their T-shirts, and Boyle's Punch is the slogan this year. As we get a look at this last play, right from Chris Profick's point of view. He never got out of focus.
Could have bailed, but didn't.
He gets a raise for that, doesn't he?
Took it like a man. No. Shot good by Chad Lilly on a nice turnaround, and he draws a personal foul.
That's right, Chris. Notre Dame continuing to go back inside. They've been shooting the lights out from the outside once again here in the second half. But they're also having success now inside and, of course, getting some more trips to the free throw line. This will be the largest lead by Notre Dame.
Watch this replay of that last shot. All right, here we go. Pass over in the corner. Wilson. Nice pass. The layup is up and in by Andrew Lutz.
With ball movement, Wilson finding an open man on the weak side as Notre Dame a little bit relaxed defensively.
41-33 after you got in late tonight from shopping or whatever, and I guess you're all shopped out by now, I would assume, so we assume you've been with us for the better part of this game. Hope you enjoyed game one as well. Whoop, Miller gets his hand in there. Lilly avoids the steal. Pass inside. Oh, what a move by Daly, but he misses the shot. Wilson, Miller, reverse layup, not good, and he traveled with the basketball.
Well, Miller did a great job of sneaking behind the defense again, had the whole trip to the hoop himself. Just bobbled that ball for just a hair, tried to make a nice recovery with a reverse layup. It just took that extra step.
For three, air ball. Yeah, by Matt Gordon. Air ball, air ball. That never gets old, I guess.
Not a bad decision to shoot that three ball, but didn't take a whole lot of time off the clock.
Eckhart shoots up and in. Wilson slowly climbing back into this thing again, 41-35.
And one of the things I got from Bob Frankenfield talking to him before the game, a little bit surprised myself that this team has played so well. What has been the difference? And he has said these guys have just continued to work hard in practice and game times. They do not quit. And a couple times today, it looked like Notre Dame was putting a run together. Whether a timeout was called or not, these troops kind of focused themselves on getting back in this ball game, and they have not quit.
District Attorney John Morganelli from Northampton County, good friend of ours, standing in the doorway. Great Notre Dame supporter. Pass inside to Daly. Shoots up and in. Well, he just towered that one over the defensive man and got it to fall. Jeff Daly enjoying another great evening.
Remember when Daly came in as a freshman? Remember just seeing him drop back and drop in these three balls as a freshman, but he has really developed as a solid all-around player. Seeing him go inside and create shots inside.
Miller misses the shot underneath, gets hammered and slow in getting up. Notre Dame with the basketball, they simply throw it away.
And that was a bullet pass, nailed the cheerleader, and she appears to be okay. Well, it's not safe down here in the first row tonight.
That'll that'll wipe the smile off your face, huh? All right, 3:52 remaining in the basketball game. Notre Dame by 8, and here's Chris, and there's Pat Boyle.
Pat Boyle trying to settle down the troops a little bit. They had a 10-point lead at one point. Still pretty comfortable cushion for the moment at 8 points. But this is a situation where Notre Dame, when they have that 10-point, we're glad that she's all right. Cheerleaders are tough, though. I mean, you know, they can say it's not really a contact sport until somebody gets dropped or you hit the floor hard. But Notre Dame, they had that 10-point lead. Wilson has committed some mistakes at the other end, and Notre Dame, instead of taking advantage and keeping that lead at double digits or trying to put Wilson away, they're letting the Warriors hang around a little bit.
Well, there's a youngster that's getting a little tired right about now. And Mom, I want to go home and go to sleep. But it's good they bring the kids out at a young age and just... There's Ted Meixel. Pride and joy of the morning call. Added side court right in front of us. Andrew Lutz will inbounds the basketball. And again, Wilson has that hole to climb out of, trailing by 8. And time is now not on their side. Miller looking for help from Stokes. Like that name, kind of like a gunslinger. Chuck Stokes. going toward the bucket. Down the lane, what a great move shot, not good. Ball comes free, and everybody's battling for it. Miller touched it last as it goes out of bounds.
Looks like the coaching staff was calling for a hold. Let's watch the end of this play.
Well, that was
great effort by Miller.
Oh, yeah. What a great effort by Stokes had he made that one drop. Well, these young people are really sensational.
They're great shots if they all go in.
Yeah. Don't go in, bad choice. Bad selection. Nice pass underneath. Layup up and in by Daly. Man, they're really starting to thread the needle now on these passes. Double-digit lead for the Crusaders. And a good steal at midcourt by Weaver. Down the lane. Layup up and in, and he's fouled.
And not a good foul at the other end. Andrew Lutz came over, tried to get back. But after the ball was released, it was on its way to the hoop, commits the foul to make a three-point play. May not be even a factor at this point, as Notre Dame now up by 12. You see the foul after the shot's up there.
Great steal by Weaver, makes the bucket, gets fouled, and now will step to the line and try to nail the end of the three-point play. And as Chris pointed out, to give Notre Dame possibly a 13-point spread. 2 for 2 tonight, now 3 for 3. In forward court. Eckhart goes toward the bucket, and he is going to draw a personal foul. And I believe this one is going to be against Kenny, and if it is, that will be number.
Wilson anxious for a basket. They know they need some in a hurry. Lost the handle, but a bump before losing the handle. Quick shot here.
Stokes, not good. Miller, good rebound, goes toward the bucket, falls up and in. A lot of great effort by Darryl Miller. Gotta like this young man. And he's a junior. 48-37. Now it's incumbent on Notre Dame to stop, or Wilson to stop any points being scored by Notre Dame if they're going to have any chance to get this one close.
It'll be interesting to feel if Pat Boyle is more happy with his team on the offensive end or the defensive end tonight.
And Eckhart's going to pick up his second personal foul. Ready to come in the game for Notre Dame is Matt Gordon. Yeah, that's a good call by Dave Bondel. We're under 2 minutes. And Doug Weaver. Notre Dame really needed this basketball game, Chris, to reestablish themselves. They were on top of the division and suddenly found themselves behind Penn Argyl and then again behind Wilson.
Yeah, important for another reason too, because we mentioned they had some problems early on, but they really looked like they were starting to build some momentum. So they start this week off. If they come out here and lose to Wilson, they fall 2 games behind, and also that might set them back a little bit because they had been progressing and trying to hit their stride. And Wilson certainly gave a great effort. Wilson with a very tough week. They have Notre Dame today, and then they have, I believe it's Saucon Valley on Friday.
Lutz on that last field goal and the foul on this end with 92 seconds remaining.
Now they have Saucon Valley Friday, and then Palmerton and Southern Lehigh next week. Notre Dame plays at Palisades, and they have Pocono Mountain West before playing Northern Lehigh on the 13th.
Just like that in the movie, My Cousin Vinny. Lawyers, All right, here goes Notre Dame with the basketball, and Daly now in the corner. And here's a personal foul. And as the judge in the movie said, the what? And what was his name?
Edmund
Joe
Gwynn.
Fishy says,
Oh.
the Utes. The what? And a whistle on the personal foul against Darrell Miller, and that is his third.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to work Edmund Gwynn into this broadcast somehow.
Daly has not been on the foul line tonight, but why should he not be? And he converts the foul shot along with his 8 or 9 field goals tonight and a couple of threes. I would say it's been a pretty good night. 10-point lead. Second one is good.
Got to start thinking of our Yakos player of the game.
Well, combination of a couple people from Notre Dame, I guess. Chris, here's a layup up and in by Matt Rush. Daly certainly would be a leading candidate with over 20 points tonight and an outstanding game.
Yeah, and he did three things well. Three things that I noticed well, not even counting his effort at the defensive end. Not only made the outside shots, went inside, was not afraid to go inside, created some nice shots by himself, and also a couple times today also saw him setting up other players. On this team, there's not a whole lot of selfish play all around the boards, but Jeff Daly, I think, really had a all-around solid game at the offensive end and also played well defensively.
I want to thank Elaine Arndt for her help tonight, and of course Bob Frankenfield and his athletic department, head coach here, and all the assistants for their hospitality as we really enjoy coming to Wilson to do basketball games as people are filing out. And we're going to put this one in the W category for Notre Dame, leading by 10 with less than a minute to go. Miller outside, baseline now, makes penetration, gets it outside. Here's a 10-foot jump shot, good by Matt Rush. And quietly, he's picked up 5 field goals tonight, and here's a foul in the backcourt.
Back-to-back double-digit field goals for the young sophomore. Getting the start today after Ron Pacioli injured his ankle in the warm-ups.
Andrew Lutz will pick up his 4th personal foul, but it's all academic now.
Nice touch from the sophomore.
And Daly will likely pad his numbers tonight by nailing at least one, if not both of these shots. 4 for 5. And coming out of the ball game is Doug Weaver. Well, they didn't get to 72 tonight. Fell about 20 points shy, but nevertheless, it's a win, no matter how many points you score, and a big win. Now they are now tied with Wilson for second, just a game or so behind Penn Argyl. Outside for 3, shot, not good. It's all over. Yeah, it's all over. And a whistle and a personal foul. This one's going to go against Evan Whiteout, his first. Eckhart will take it out at side court. Chris and I will be back next Tuesday with more basketball on RCN. And an immediate foul by Miller, and that will be number 4 on Darrell. One of the very few Friday nights off during the course of the year. We always like to have that breather once in a while. We'll have one again at the end of January, and then from there on in, it's going to be a packed schedule until the end of basketball season. Down the lane, Miller, scoop shot, nice.
Also going to have a lot of Colonial League games, as Bob mentioned earlier. Going to have a good opportunity to see Wilson and Penn Argyl, Notre Dame, Salisbury, Caddy, just some of the teams coming up in the next few weeks. It should be an interesting race in the Colonial League. Coming into this season, you kind of made some predictions again. You look at 3 or 4 teams, and once again, right now, you're looking at 7, 8, 9 teams to have a shot.
All right, Chris and I concur. Jeff Daly will be the Yakos player of the game, and he will have well over 20 points tonight. Almost near 30, in fact. 53-45. Game 2 of our Tuesday night doubleheader on RCN 4.
And a look at Jeff Daly lighting it up from outside. Had a bunch of three-pointers, but again, very impressed by the way he set up his teammates and also drove inside. One of the big keys in Notre Dame putting that run together in the third quarter, really putting the game away, was their ability to work the ball inside and also earn some trips to the free throw line.
You got to feel nothing but good things for Bob Frankenfield and Pat Boyle, two of the finest men, forgetting about the fact that they're coaches, They're real gentlemen, and it's good to see them having success this year. They both deserve it. Here's Tavani in the backcourt. Boy, he whips that basketball around like football. He just flick of the wrist. Less than 10 seconds to go. Klotz will hold it out near midcourt, and he'll just drop the ball to the floor. 3, 2, 1, and that's it, and it's over. Notre Dame wins their 9th game of the year, 53-45, and here is Chris.
I posed the question a few moments ago. Wonder if Pat Boyle, we'll talk to him, I'll get a chance to after the game, but wonder if he's more happy with his teams offensively or defensively. Remember, defense does not go into a slump. They had a little bit of a slump there in the second and early stages of the third quarter, mostly in the second quarter, however, but that defense really kept them in the game. Both teams played solid at both ends, but Notre Dame in the third quarter went back to the inside game, got good balance offensively, and then was able to put the ball game away.
All right, let's give you the scoring real quick and then we'll get out of here and let you get on to do whatever you like to do. For Wilson, Chris Eckhart with 8, Matt Rush with 13, Chuck Stokes with 11, Darrell Miller with 6, Andrew Lutz with 7. Leading scorer for Wilson, Matt Rush with 13 points. For Notre Dame, Chad Lilly with 7, Reed Klotz with 6, Jeff Daly with 25, Dan Tavani with 2, and Doug Weaver with 13. Leading Notre Dame scorers was Jeff Daly with 25, leading all scorers tonight. At the end of the first quarter, it was 15-10 in favor of the Crusaders. At halftime, it was 23-21 Notre Dame. Third quarter, the Crusaders continued their lead, 38-31, finally going away in a victory, 53-45. Hope you enjoyed tonight's basketball game. It was a delight to be here to open our 2004 calendar year. John Galhan, our executive director, and his marvelous staff. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for an outstanding job again and again and again. So we'll see you again, not Friday night, next Tuesday with more basketball. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, there's the final in front of you. Notre Dame 53, Wilson 45. For Chris Michael, I'm Bob Beatty. Good night and good sports.